Welcome back. I have the Nitecore Concept 2 in for testing and review today. So we're going to take an in-depth look at this. This was sent in via Nitecore for review to me. Now, quick look over the back on some of the features. You'll notice with this we have 4 LEDs and we also have 4 built-in batteries with this. We'll go through some of the features a bit later on. It's quite nicely presented in the box. Just open it up and you'll see we have the user guide. I'll go through that a bit later on. Some foam padding over the top, and here's everything that's included, and I'll go through everything that's here and start with the torch. First thing that I noticed with this torch is it definitely has a bit of weight, but it's quite a bit smaller than I was expecting. And you can never really tell with these products until you actually get them in your hands. It's a lot smaller than I imagined it would be. Definitely feels very solid and well made, and I'm just showing you the physical exterior. Very simple, just got a charging port on the underside. Clip is attached to the base, and that is quite a strong clip as well. There's a good bit of retention on that, and it's pretty deep. You'll see that we have the base here, and that is we have the hex bolts there. So the batteries are sealed into this, so there's no easy way to get at them, and we have 4 of them, 3100 milliamps an hour inside, so getting to them might be a bit of a challenge later on. Evidently Nitecore did this. I asked them specifically, they wanted to save size with the unit and make it as compact as possible. You'll notice with the flap cover for the barrel style connector is flush or just below the surface, so that's not going to stick out. It's reasonably easy to get to because you've got a small tab section on the top which you can just lift up. They've gone for a minimalistic look, which has been a feature of the Concept series so far. Now the switch on the side is a dual pressure type, just like the MH23 that I looked at recently, so you'll definitely feel a positive click with the full press down. You'll be able to easily find it where the half press is. You can see there it's bringing up the battery indicator. So the 4 Cree X HP35 HD LEDs with smooth reflectors. So this torch should give a bit of range because the shape and design of the reflectors. It's also got the anti-reflective coating as you'd expect, and notice how they've rounded the edges so that it makes it more comfortable to hold, and it is actually pretty good in the hand. It's definitely much better than I was expecting. Initially you look at the square shape and think that it's not going to be very ergonomic, but that makes a very big difference to it. The wrist strap is pre-attached, so I would leave that on there because it can be a bit tricky to put in again. The only thing that I'd change is I would have added either a bit of knurling or a few grooves with extra grip. Get a spare cover for the switch and for the charging port. This is the power adapter, which is 12 volts at 1 amp, so that's why it's fast charging, is the voltage rather than the amperage. And a quick side-by-side with the Concept 1, which was in itself a slightly unusual design. So they're obviously going for something different with this series, a bit different to the normal sort of torches that you get. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but we'll see how it stacks up in terms of real world use a bit later on. This is the holster that's included, which is very similar to other Nitecore ones. You do have the Velcro patch on the back and the belt loop sewn in underneath. You'll notice on all of their holsters they do have a number, so you'll be able to get replacements if you need them. This one is a bit different though because it has some neoprene section on the back and on the front flap. That provides a bit more protection, and it's probably needed because this is a heavier torch. Even though it's quite small, it's a bit of heft, so it gives a bit more stability in the holster rather than it flapping around. Notice how they've also extended the Velcro patch around the sides as well. So I'm not sure whether that's probably to make it a bit more stable, though you could stick things to it if you have something else at hand. You can also put it head down with the clip engaging the side. It's pretty secure in there, it's not really going to fall out easily. To be honest, it's deep enough to hold it without worrying about the torch coming out by accident, whichever way you put it into the holster. It'll work through the user interface now, so it's a full press on, full press off, and then just a half press to cycle through the power levels, the 5 of them. Then to engage the lockout, this does have a lockout on the torch, fortunately. Half press the switch and hold it in for a few seconds, and then it will indicate that it's locked. Then you can just press it in again to unlock. And to get access to the turbo, there's 2 ways of doing this. When the torch is off, full press and hold the side switch and it remains on a momentary turbo as long as you've held that switch in, and when it's on, half press the switch to engage the momentary turbo on that. So the UI is pretty simple, I think. A couple of areas that I might have tweaked things. If you want to get to the strobe, torch has to be on, so full press and hold to get onto the strobe modes, and then half press to cycle through the strobes that are included. And we have 3 on this, just like the other Nitecore torches that I've looked at. So if you like the beacon SOS in addition to the normal strobe, that's in there as well. Only downside is you can't get to the strobe when the torch is off. Just a quick shot showing you the voltage level indicator and inserting the barrel connector. The cable on this is about 1 meter long in length. Might have gone for type C myself, that's open to debate. Now charging the torch up, you'll see it flashing, and then it turns to static when it's charged. Do about 5 hours 12 minutes I found with the torch to charge it from flat. It will protect the cells from over discharge as well. On to the water resistance test. Didn't see any problems. I submerged it for half an hour. Let's look at the manual quickly. These are the power output levels. You'll notice there's a bit of a jump between the ultra low and the low. Top level 6500 lumens, which is a high output for a torch this size. Going through the rest of the user manual, you can pause this, have a look if you need to go through that in case I've missed anything. There is a note on one section about the heat generated with the torch, and if you've got it submerged in water, not to use that to attempt to cool it. Going through the power levels now, starting on the second power level, and you'll see them moving up through the range. Now you notice how it spreads out, particularly at the high level and on the turbo. So you get not only quite a nice bit of range on this, but a decent bit of spread as well. This does heat up pretty quick. After about 30 seconds or so, you'll start to feel the heat coming through. And I've just put a comparison with the Concept one, which in itself is quite a powerful torch for a single cell model, next to that. And I've got my usual beam shots, which I'm going to do. And I've done quite a lot of beam shots outside just to show you the torch, give you a bit more idea on the power output. So I'm going to run with those, and we'll come back at the end and talk about a few specific areas. You'll notice on the drop down test that I did that particularly the turbo level, it does drop down fairly quickly. Not unexpected for a torch with this power output and the size. The good news is it does dissipate the heat quite quickly, but if you do keep hitting the turbo, you will feel the body get hot. So that's something to bear in mind. So really for me, the main weaknesses on this would be no easy access to the batteries. I would have gone with a Type-C connector myself, particularly if you're traveling. That would have made it easier. Don't know if they'll come up with a car charger for this. Another point is the large jump from ultra low to low. I would have just added an extra power level in there. That would have solved that problem. Now, those are the main weaknesses. On the upside, it's a very small size for a torch, which takes 4 18650 batteries built in and the power output. Pretty fast charging with the supplied power adapter, considering the capacity, and that also means you get really long run times off of this. Particularly on the low and mid level compared to a single cell 18650 torch. A couple of other nice features, the lockout and the voltage readout. So overall it's an interesting torch. It's definitely going to appeal to some people. Obviously premium price, premium build quality, that's basically what you get with this, but I think some people will be quite interested in this model. But do let me know what you think. Would you tweak or change any of the designs, or would this be a torch that you are interested in? So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.